I just wanted to quickly just go through a couple of other things that we've been playing with in the last little while, more related to the apps and remote monitoring. Obviously, you've been hearing quite a bit about this remote monitoring and tracking sort of stuff as well. So I think there's a massive potential there for things. I guess the first thing is don't forget paper. I mean, the majority of the work that we still do is still printed out and sent off for a PDF copy. So paper still has a big part to play. And just communicating between two people is still a useful way of doing things. Something we've been having a bit of a play with, we bought one of these remote cameras a little while back. So basically it's a Next-G aerial on the top there. It's got a solar panel. The whole electronics all managed in there, and the camera sits there taking a photo as much as you like. Now it's really exciting watching barley grow. It's one of the most exciting things I've ever done in my life. But besides that, you get a snapshot of what's going on every couple of minutes if you want, or I've got this thing set every hour, so we get a really good picture about how things are changing in time. There's obviously security applications for this sort of thing. There's a range of monitoring potentials with these sorts of devices, but I think the potential is there now with Next-G, and now possibly when 4G comes, we've got even more potential in the field to remotely monitor a lot more. I was going to show a video of that, but you can have a look at that on YouTube, of that exciting barley crop growing through its life, and we put that into a bit of video and thrown it up on YouTube, so jump on and have a look at that. The other thing we've just started to play with, we've just got our first one of these rolling out right now. It's going to be heading to Tasmania. It's a tracking device, and it's 200mm by 200mm by about 150mm, so it's this big. It's got a magnetic mount on it, so it can stick onto anything metallic. It's got a Next-G aerial there, and a little tiny solar panel, and a little tiny battery in there. It self-manages itself, so a completely remote tracking device. So I think this is a sort of future where, manufacturers are building this into their machines now. John Deere's bought some really cool stuff out recently with, what's it called? Not Find My Tractor, it's something like that, I've forgotten. JD Link, but yeah, there's some great stuff what John Deere are doing about tractor theft and all that sort of stuff. In this case, we're going to use this device on a carrot harvester in Tasmania, and we're just going to monitor every time that the bin unloads. And so we've got an inertial sensor built into this so that we can detect when the bin lifts and unloads carrots, which is pretty exciting stuff, I know, but for the grower it's really interesting because he says he needs to know real time between the machine in the field and the pack house about how many carrots are coming in. Whereas at the moment they've got one person designated to actually ringing those people up and seeing where the carrot harvest is at, how many bins they're actually harvesting this hour, and what are they likely to see in the pack house. Well, now we're going to make a real-time link between the unit in the field and the pack house, so that he gets rid of one person essentially. So this $2,000 device is essentially going to get rid of $50,000 or $60,000 person. So that person might be put into other jobs, but the reality is it's a very time-intensive thing that they're doing at the moment. But I think this has got huge potential for any machine on the farm. So from a workplace health and safety point of view, or a productivity point of view, what we're going to do with the carrots is it's going to be a surrogate yield map. Like, we can't yield map carrots at the moment. Well, you can buy it if you've got enough money, but just looking at the number of tips in a run will give us some idea about yield. So we're trying to look at other ways of doing that. I don't know if anyone has, a couple of guys got iPads in the room here, but the iPad apps are exploding, as you're probably aware. AgWorld is one of the ones that's talked about very widely amongst agronomists. Very, very good program. It's still in its early days and there's a lot of bugs, I guess, like anything. But it's got a great application runs the Google Maps in the background. You can mark all your fields. You can do activities at a point-based location and report on those at a point-based location. And then the other, produce reports. That's the report that comes out of it. So you can give a chemical recommendation or get a chemical recommendation or whatever based in real time. Also, the other exciting thing about AgWorld I like is that it's got its own full library. It's basically sitting on your iPad. So every chemical you've got the MSDS and the labels all sitting there right at your fingertips, basically. And every time you link that in, it basically updates all of that library. So you've got the whole most up-to-date information at your fingertips. You know, any product you need to use. So that's pretty exciting sort of stuff. And this stuff's now available for pretty reasonable money, like $110 will buy this thing for your iPad. Another one that fewer guys like Lockie's using here, I think the words were "it's changed my world," something similar to that, where you can make, it's a company called Easy App. They make a thing called Agro App and Spray App. How much do they cost? Not much, was it? Oh, one's $1,200, isn't it? The top version is $1,200, but you can get a light version that I've just downloaded the light version. Basically, it's free, and you can have a play with that. But yeah, tell us what you do. You make a recommendation in the field.
Yeah, like your screen on the right hand side there, you've got all your paddocks and plants preloaded, and you can just tap all your weeds and chemical rates in, and at the end of the visit, send a report to the grower, the guy in the merchandise store, so he knows what chemicals got to go out, and one to my inbox for my records. So there's no time waiting for me to get back and manually write them out that night.
Yep.
You know, the grower can just get straight on it.
Yep. And the merchandise man has already taken the ute out with the chemical on it before you leave the paddock.
And they're talking about having an app for the grower that then can edit that report and put his spraying conditions into it. So
that's
he's got a digital record of all his conditions at once.
Okay. And then that's like an as applied then. You say, yes, that job's been done, and it logs. So, really good little things being built there. Another one which I found is called Field Notes. It's $25. If you're a grower with an iPhone, you can basically, it's very manual, but I mean once you've put a product in once, it'll keep that record. But you basically can just submit your crop types, what you're spraying, what the wind conditions were, and it gets recorded. It's a very simple little application for your iPhone or iPad that you can do in the field and records all your spraying conditions. I guess they call it field notes and not spray notes, so I assume that they're trying to do other things in the future, but for $25 it's worth having to play with. It's, like I said, it's pretty manual, but it's basically a spray logbook for your iPhone. The other great thing is even just the Google Earth app is bloody amazing on iPad. It's the inbuilt GPS gives you very good location. Taking geo-reference photos of certain things at a point in time and then uploading that I think is the future. So an agronomist could be, or you could be in the field, you take a photo of this weed, what the hell is it, Lockie, and it gets that photo straight away. What are we actually dealing with here? So this whole real-time connectivity and the applications that are coming along, I think are really got a lot of potential. There's a few other mapping ones around that offer some more advanced mapping features, but I won't go into those too much.